Hello, my name is Bruce Dorr, and I'm one of the staff scientists that works here on the third floor. And I want to just introduce to you one of the animals that we have here on the third floor, Drifter, our beaver. He's got his back turned to us right now because he's actually eating some of his food, and he just washed it in his lodge. Now, beavers, what they do out in the wild is actually create a lodge where they can fit almost up to 8 beavers in there. In fact, in a lodge, what happens, you get the male beaver, the female beaver, the kits of the year, the young ones, and then we had the young of the previous year. So you can have up to sometimes 8 beavers in there. And as you can tell with the beaver, it's actually a very large rodent. It's just a very large mouse. And we know it's a rodent because the teeth, the front buck teeth, which they actually use to cut down trees and to eat all types of food. Now, beavers are actually not hibernators. A lot of people think they will actually hibernate, but they will spend most of their time in a lodge in the winter time. And there's actually a hole that leads right underneath the ice layer in the water, where they will actually pick up branches that they actually put there in the fall time to then bring back into the lodge. So they're actually very active in the winter time, and in fact beavers are actually born in the month of March, April, late March, early April. Beavers, in order to be able to live in a wet area, create a large dam. And they create this dam so they can have a flooded area where they can then, find food, but also escape from predators, and also keep them safe from predators inside this really large lodge. Now, the lodge that we have here at Science North is quite large. Most lodges created by beavers aren't this large, and we created this very large lodge so that we can go in there and clean inside of there. Well, what's interesting, I actually came across a real beaver lodge, and what I want to do now is show you a video of a real lodge and an actual real beaver dam that I saw out not too far from here. And right now I'm actually standing on a beaver lodge. Right now it's an active beaver lodge, and I can tell it's an active beaver lodge because we got some fresh cuttings here. And in fact, one of my colleagues told me there's actually about 6 beavers using this lodge right now. And why this is important for me to mention about beavers and their lodge and things like that, because beavers are active builders. We all know that beavers make dams to actually retain the water. And in fact, this wetland that's actually behind me was actually created by beavers. And in fact, they created a dam right behind me that's about 300 meters long. And they've actually flooded this area and created this wetland area. So beavers are quite important in that they shape the environment and they create habitats for other animals. And this beaver dam goes all the way over there and all the way over there, and it's about 300 meters long. And it's actually this beaver dam that's retaining a lot of the water and creating this wetland that's actually in front of me. Now, what's interesting, I also have a wetland behind me, which is actually a swampy area, but this area will dry out during the summertime. This is actually a swamp. So this beaver dam, as I can see, is quite big, compact, lots of mud, and in fact it's been here for a while to the point that certain plants and even trees are starting to grow within it. So it's quite ingenious, or quite a feat of engineering to see this beaver dam built and maintained over the years. Now, the reason why Drifter is actually here, if you notice the tail, it's actually a very short, stubby tail. His tail would normally have been 3 times longer, and because of that, he can't be released out in the wild, and that's why he's here at Science North. They use their tail to help them as to balance themselves, kind of for leverage purposes. It also helps them to swim around. So the tail is an essential part of the beaver, and unfortunately Drifter is missing that essential part, and that's why he's here at Science North.